Christy, are you as disappointed as I am in this finale of Love is Blind?
Totally let down. For someone that this was the first time I've ever watched it, yes, very let down.
I feel like they gave us a lot of foreplay and they were building us up and they were building us up and it was just about to get good. And then they're like, we're done with the show.
Yeah.
Total disappointment. Channel surfers, though, we don't want to disappoint. We have watched a few interviews with the cast that have come out in the last few weeks. We watched the trailer and we have our speculations on it. So we're going to try to make this as fun as it possibly can be while we recap Love is Blind, Season 9, Episode 12, Vow or Never. Let's watch.
Remote reality, yeah, that's the key. Unlocking stories wild and free. With the host, side by side. Channel surfers, let's ride.
So the episode starts out with Bachelor and Bachelorette parties. It looks like they're at a ski lodge, so I'm sure Nick is, well, never there. He should have waited until the altar. Then he could have gone skiing with his bros, or not so much bros. What were your thoughts on the get-togethers?
It looked like they were all having a really good time, fun.
They were dancing. I mean, if I got down as low as Megan and KB were getting down, I wouldn't be able to get off the floor.
I wouldn't be able to get back up. That's for sure. I'd have been like, help
me up. We need a crane.
Yeah, it looked like everybody was happy, having a great time.
The guys all seemed very excited. Edmund was saying, this is going to be a change, like a huge change in my life. They were feeling it. The girls were getting more wild, I think, than the guys.
Yeah. There was a few conversations that were kind of deep. I think Megan and her girlfriends, they were having a deep conversation.
They were saying that Megan needs to make sure she's falling in love with the guy and not the kid. And then her other friend said, well, but what if, and her friend's crying, what if you have this beautiful family and you and Jordan have kids together? And the impression I got from Megan was there's just uncertainty right now.
I think they definitely gave her some food for thought. I don't think she had really thought about it. Yeah.
See, I think she had thought about it and her friends were trying to help her think through it. I don't know.
They could have been pointing out things, too, that she hadn't thought about.
Because it would have been very random for the one friend to jump in and be like, make sure it's not just the kid. What would make her say that? If she thought she was absolutely certain about Jordan, 100%, that'd be a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been some conversation, which, again, this is all very fast. Completely normal, I think, for any of these people to have some concerns.
It could have been something edited out that we didn't hear that led to that comment. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I think this was something behind the scenes.
I agree.
Anything else from the bachelor parties and bachelorette parties?
No, I mean, I think the theme was all of them seemed to be having conversations with their family or friends about, are you sure you want to do this? Yes, I love them, blah, blah, blah crap.
Now, Allie did talk to her friends about Anton being a truck driver, and she said that word that we jumped on KB the other day for using.
Yes.
Potential.
I heard the same thing. My thought exactly. I'm like, what is it with the word potential with these women? Because you should not be marrying potential.
No. And her friends were talking about his job as a truck driver. They said that was below her.
Yeah, it's a little bit snobby. That was a little snobby comment.
Snobby.
Yeah. She kept telling them she kept telling him he makes good money. He makes good money.
Does that even matter though? Like,
I don't know. Well, apparently she thought
you like, who cares if he's a good person and he treats you right?
Right.
Why is that below you? Like, somebody that loves you, treats you right as your partner, whatever they do, as long as it's not like immoral or illegal, then who cares? That's not below her to have a guy that treats her well.
No, I just thought she was trying to make an excuse with her friends because they all seemed to be like down on the fact that he was a truck driver.
Yeah,
and
it was gross.
It was mean. It was
truck
mean.
drivers do make good money.
Oh my gosh. Yes, we know this.
Yes. I mean, as debtors' attorneys,
Mm-hmm.
we see what all kinds of professions make, and very good.
It's a hard-working job, and they make good
hardworking.
money. Yes.
You know what? If I was a truck driver, which I'll probably never be because my driving record is crap because of my undiagnosed ADHD before the age of 24 anyway, I would just like be listening to podcasts all day. I would just be cruising, listening to like ebooks.
To fess up, I think there was a time during my childhood that was like one of the career paths I would have loved to have done, because what would be better than just driving all over the country as a job?
Yeah. And like, can't you bring your dog with you?
You can take your dogs, you can take spouses, kids. I mean, I've seen
Now, I don't know that I'd want to be on a truck drive with my spouse across the
I
country.
know. Well,
I think the quiet time would be nice.
yeah. Well, I used to be so addicted to ice road truckers. So I used to love to watch those episodes in Alaska and like Canada where they're driving the ice roads.
Dangerous.
So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff they get to do in them trucks. I was like, man, maybe I should have. I just
So
don't
were you
have the
wanting
confidence.
to do ice road trucking? Was this
I
like,
probably
be on the
not
edge?
do that. Are you kidding? No way. No, I would like
Be
if it
hanging off the side
snows.
of a mountain 911.
I know it. If it snows or there's a little bit of ice on the road, like my knees will shake so bad I sound like Thumper on the gas pedal. Like I'm
You know
just
what?
like shaking.
In today's age, people better respect. You better put some respect on them truck drivers, because when you're ordering your Amazon and you're getting your delivery from Temu or whatever, it takes people in transportation so that you can sit in the luxury of your house and shop for what you want. So
That's
put
right.
some respect on that, because when you ordered that makeup, it was a truck driver brought it to your house, brought it to the facility and brought it to your house. Put some respect on it. All right. So snobby friends aside, we turn to Allie and Anton's wedding day. Allie looks stunning.
Oh,
as
she's
usual.
so gorgeous. So gorgeous. And her whole family, like her siblings, when her sisters came in and stuff, they were so pretty too.
And when her sister that wasn't talking to her came in, I lied earlier when I was talking to Dee. That was actually the first time I got misty-eyed. I said it was later, but I get a little tear. I was like, she's here. And she says that she supports her.
I know. I thought it was a very heartwarming moment.
Now, her mom expresses some concern with Anton's drinking. And she says, no one in my family drinks. Allie makes an excuse. She goes, well, I drink. And the part that hit me about that is the only reason Allie's mom knows that Anton drinks and is concerned about it is because what Allie has told her. The show hasn't aired at this point. What she knows, what other source would she have besides Allie to tell her that?
Well, I don't know unless she saw something when she did the visit with them. Like maybe she saw something that stuck out or was concerning. I can't remember. They may have even had a discussion about it with her. They may have been talking about it with her maybe.
Well, she said he drinks every day. I'm pretty sure that didn't come up in a discussion in front of Anton.
Yeah,
it
that's
did with
true.
Allie, but when Allie said, I drink some, they were like, but not every day.
Right. And Allie said, let's give him some grace. I think that was the word she used.
And that gave me pause. There have been things that have given me pause throughout the second half of this season, but it made me wonder what Allie was going to say. Her mom is bringing this up. That's what put the question in my head. But then the editors and their infinite wisdom and magic, cutting up tape and making things look really, really amazing. They show us the beautiful side of the wedding. We have Anton's mom who comes in. They're speaking to each other in Russian. And I thought it was really hot actually to see Anton speaking in Russian. That was pretty sexy.
Yeah. I don't doubt that he's sexy.
He's like, I have eyes.
Yeah, I don't doubt that he's sexy. They make an amazing couple looking at them. I mean, they're just stunning to look at the two of them whenever they're together.
But just a different language. Any language. Well,
I know.
I guess not any. I haven't heard every language, but like Spanish, French. It's just probably why the other way, the Australian accent. Anyway, Anton has two different socks on, a striped one and a non-striped one. And you texted me and you were like, maybe it is bad luck. not to spoil anything. I'd already watched it, but maybe you should have worn the 2 socks.
Well, it was like a premonition thing for me when I was sitting there watching it. And I'm like, is that going to be a bad omen or something? That the fact that these socks don't match. And they're not just not matching. They're like crazy, weird socks. Like they're striped socks, like a purple or blue or something.
It's not just like a black sock and a gold toe black sock.
Yeah. No, this was like bonkers socks.
Well, kids nowadays, that's a trend to wear 2 different mix matching socks.
It's been for a while because even when mine were a teenager, now my son wouldn't do it, but my daughter would.
So I thought maybe he was just a trendy kid until he started complaining about it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I thought maybe they were just 2 pair, one each of 2 pairs of Lucky socks or something. So he wanted to wear his Lucky socks, like in sports.
Oh, I know. When Rebecca and I watch the Gamecocks play football, the other day we were watching, and when we weren't paying attention, they would do really good. So we sat there and we were like, don't look at the TV. Don't look at the TV. And they ended up winning the game. This was like a month ago. But we got so superstitious that we wouldn't look until we heard the announcer say something.
Lauren, my son raced go-karts for probably 10 years.
Was that his way of good luck, don't look? And he closed his eyes while he was racing?
No, it was me. It was me. Because I swear, anytime I walked to the fence to watch this kid, he would wreck. So finally, I told my husband, I'm like, I'm not watching. I would literally haul myself back to the trailer and sit in there until his races were over so that nothing bad would happen.
Good thing that was your good luck and not his.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, I could.
Now, Anton's mama is doting all over her baby boy. He is just so handsome. She is fixing his collar, putting on his tie. She goes to try to put on his coat. He's like, Mom, I got it. Cut the apron strings. I'm about to be a man. I'm about to get married. She's like, I know it's my last time putting my little jacket on my baby. But she gives him some good advice. He said his biggest concern is that she says no. And she said, well, if she says no, then that's what's meant to be. If she says yes, then that's what's meant to be. You don't want her to say yes if she means no.
Right.
So what will be, will be.
Good advice.
Great advice. Anton's mom then goes over to see Allie, and she tells her she looks gorgeous. A lot of the conversations are actually people telling Allie how pretty she looks. I wonder if that's what she needs to hear, though. I would imagine with such a weighty emotional decision that she's making, just hearing you're pretty might not be enough.
Right.
For support.
Yeah, but I also think it's kind of the thing, like on a bride's wedding day, everybody telling her how beautiful she is. Not that, to me, she's exceptional. Like she's above average in looks. She could be a model. She is beautiful. She could wear a potato sack and look amazing.
And she has a great smile. I wonder if those are implants.
I don't know.
She has these big, beautiful white teeth. And Anton's mom tells Allie just how much Anton loves her, that she raised a good man. And her mom kind of perks up, and Allie's mom is like, yeah. She doesn't really say a lot, but she just agrees that they're both really good people, the kids, Anton and Allie. And Allie says, I love him. And then Anton's mom said, well, you've got to follow your heart. Your heart's not going to lie to you. And her mom agrees, follow your heart. Your heart won't lie to you. And she says, whatever decision it is, that's going to be the right decision. And we support that. Anton's mom says that. So we see Anton standing at the altar, smiling from ear to ear. He's just cheesing, so happy. And then we see Allie, and she comes down the aisle. And was there anything you wanted to say about the speeches that they gave?
No, not really. Nothing.
They both sounded like they were going to go for it, honestly.
Yeah.
Nothing gave me pause in their little speeches.
No.
And Anton says yes. And they start playing this really happy music. And we're looking at Allie. And then the music turns.
Her face.
And then you see her look away. And she says, I can't be your wife.
That's it. I can't be your wife. That's it. I'm sorry.
And she walks away. And she collapses on the floor. Now, I think they had this conversation ahead of time. I think he knew he would say yes and then she would say no. He didn't look super shocked.
Mm-hmm.
In retrospect, his mom like saying these nice things to him, if he knows he's getting dressed up for production, and that's got to be a bummer.
Well, that was one of the things that had kind of like stuck out in my head because I've never seen this show before. And I was like, well, why didn't they just go the Nick and Annie route or the Madison and Joe route, you know, and just before they even got to like standing there at the altar before saying no.
Now, I've never seen the contracts, but apparently the contracts require them to get to the altar, or maybe if they get to the altar, then they get to keep their ring. I want to say it's something in the contract, but producers have gotten more loose about it over the years.
Gotcha.
And maybe with like Madison and Joe and Nick and Annie, maybe when they said, hey, let's call it off beforehand, the producers were thinking, well, how much does Netflix want to see you fight over and over and over? There's really only so much of that that's going to make it for the editing.
Right.
Otherwise, this is just going to be a miserable mess. Actually, having them leave early might cause more drama. So maybe they'd let them out of the contract for that. So maybe that's why they go to the altar. But I have heard prior contestants talk about how they knew the decision before they went in.
Okay. All right.
It just depends. Like some couples completely off guard, some no, but they don't expect what they say. Like maybe they thought it was a different reason they were going to say no. But also Anton, he didn't have a strong emotional reaction at the altar. It was almost like he was just kind of walking through the steps.
Gotcha.
What his mom said and what her mom said, how they were like, just follow your heart. I think they knew. Edmund and the absolutely beautiful inside and out Calabria. I love her. I think she is such a kind-hearted person, and she's beautiful inside and out. He is too. He's very quirky and goofy, but I don't know. Goofy is my type. I'm goofy as hell.
Yeah, he's still got the Urkel thing going for me.
He so does. Now, when I told you the first time I cried, I thought it was when his mom wasn't showing up.
What a bitch.
I think it's addiction. I think
It
she's
probably
in the throes of
is,
it.
but
She
I
might
mean,
be
when
out of rehab.
When I saw that, I was like, who does that to him? Like, who would do that to him?
Alcoholism.
Yeah, I understand. I guess I should be a little nicer about it. But the first thing I said when, you know, they said his mom wasn't there, I was just like, what a bitch.
It was a gut punch. Calabria's mom comes in to see Edmund. She had to go get her eyes on him. KB says, my mom loves Edmund. She loves her some Edmund. And she asks him who's coming, and that's when we find out about his mom. And even she says there's somewhere she needs to be, which is why I think she's in the throes of it. Like her life is at risk, which is why she needs to maybe be in rehab or something.
That's a good possibility.
Also, the conversation that she had with KB, going back to that, I speculated that these secrets were her trying to hide her addiction from her kids and the daughter-in-laws knowing and telling the sons. Calabria's mom tells Edmund not to let that ruin his day, that he should still have joy today, that she's excited. So I was like, okay, this is good. The thing she's saying is so sweet and awesome. And then she gets to talk to Calabria, and Calabria's like, oh, you went to see him. Of course you did. And then the part that made me cry, Edmund's 5th grade teacher comes in.
What an amazing person.
Oh my gosh. We hear even more about everything she did for Edmund when he was growing up and didn't have structure and sometimes didn't have food. She would give him food to make sure he wasn't hungry. She'd buy him Subway and send him home with it. And Edmund is telling us this in his own words. She was strict when he needed structure. She was supportive. Oh my! I'm gonna cry just thinking about. Oh, amazing! Like she made sure he wasn't hungry.
Yeah. What an awesome influence to have in his life with the life that he had growing up. I mean, can you imagine being in 5th grade and having a wonderful teacher like that? And
I
she
can
said,
imagine going what he went through in 5th grade. And
yeah,
I was diagnosed with diabetes in 5th grade.
Yeah. But she was sitting there saying, you taught me how to teach. I learned that a kid could be dancing around the room and hear everything I was saying, and it completely changed the way that I would teach my kids after you.
That's something my son's teachers, they're like, oh, he pays attention because or at least one of his teachers told me this, because he can tell me everything I said. And I'm like, yeah, but he's not just focused on you. He's also wiggling around the room, like rolling around. He hears some of your stuff and ignores some of the other stuff. Anyway, yeah, I have ADHD. My son is 4 and he has gone to a pretty structured school. Basically his pre-K 3, they were learning like things that you would learn in kindergarten. And it's like a full day of school. So this weekend, he has like hyperactivity, talks a lot, all the signs. So this weekend I was like, I'm going to do a little test. I'm going to give him a pumpkin spice latte and let's see what happens. He was so quiet. He loved the pumpkin spice latte. He sat down and I gave him a workbook and he was working out of his workbook for 20 minutes, asking for more work. He spilled some of the latte on himself. And usually he would just not overreact, but he was just extra stimulated. He just sat there and he's like, oops. And I said, okay, I'm going to go get you a napkin. And we've given him like sodas before that have caffeine. And I've noticed he'll get quiet or go to sleep. But it was like a whole different kid. And there was quiet except for me.
Yeah. And when you understand how ADHD works, you understand why the caffeine works. So
it works. But that reminded me of my son because he's the one hopping all around the class. We even got him like a bouncy chair and his teacher saying that taught her. And just think about how many people she impacts and how many people learning that part of neurodivergency from Edmund, how many people that's impacted in her work as a teacher. It's just amazing the effect that you can have. I just loved her. And he wanted to call her Jamie. That's her name, right?
I can't remember what her first name was. I think her last name was like Wells because I think he kept calling her Mrs. Wells or something like that.
You're right. It was Miss Wells. And her first name, I think, is Jessie. Jessie. She looked so young. At first, I was like, who is this, his best friend? And it is. It's his guardian angel. And he's so looking sweet. Sharp.
Yes.
And
is that a blue? Is that a blue or a gray suit he's wearing? I was thinking it was like a bluish color. And he had weird.
Yeah, like a stone, like a cold gray.
Yeah. But he had funky socks on too.
He did.
Just like Antoine. Yeah. Anton.
I wouldn't expect anything less from Edmund.
No.
He also had like a funky shirt. It had like a pattern on it. It wasn't just a plain white.
Yeah, and he had
shirt.
Several things like pinned to his jacket in different places.
Did. I noticed he had like a red cross. Even his bow tie it wasn't solid black. It had like waves in it. He was looking good. I did like his clear glasses. I actually have just ordered a pair. So just taking the Edmund fashion advice. Yeah, Anton had a great tux though, the navy blue. He had navy blue. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's where.
But it was like
confused.
a cold, like a bluish gray. On Edmund
with Urkel pants. The pants were still Urkel style
because they were a little short. Apparently that's in style too. We are just outdated.
I don't know. I just call it the Urkel because every time I see pants like that, it reminds me of that TV show.
Only if they go up to his nipples and he has like suspenders on.
I'm not paying attention to this part. I'm paying attention to like the bottom of the legs. Did I do that? You know?
Oh boy.
I loved Urkel.
I loved Urkel too. So Anton goes up to the altar. He's got that energy. Even the minister she's looking pumped about it.
Edmund.
Yes, Edmund.
It's my fault because I was talking about Anton.
Well, you're talking about the blue suit and
the socks. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me recollect my thoughts. And then we see KB get out of the car and she has a very deep cut dress on. It has like a corset top and the bottom as toll. It almost looks like flowers or something, though.
I thought she was going to fall out of it.
So did I. When she got out of the car and she started grabbing the top, I know that feeling. I've had that grab. That's me at the beach.
I don't have those issues.
Every time a wave comes by, I'm just like grabbing onto my top. So he looks so excited to see her. She actually looks so excited to see him. They're just gazing lovingly at each other. They hug and they say, I love you.
Not just I love you. It's
so
like,
much.
I love the shit out of you kind of stuff. I mean.
She's calling him baby. And we go to the I do's. There's nothing really about the speeches.
Nothing that stands out. It's all very loving and accepting.
The editors want us to be neutral coming into this. Although I feel like they were hinting at a yes with both of the couples.
I do too.
And Edmund says yes. And Calabria says she can't. No.
I saw it on her face. Like when he said yes, I saw her face and I was like, oh shit, she's not going to say yes.
And see, unless I'm seeing her face as he's saying no, I don't trust these editors. They are going to clip parts where she's happy and put it where they want her to be happy. They could be bored as heck during part of the ceremony, and they'll clip that during the I do's to trick you into one way or the other. So unless I'm seeing her face when he's saying it, I don't trust it. And Calabria's no, she still was like, I still love you. I almost felt like she was saying it's not the right time.
That's a good possibility.
I need more time. Because she was saying you deserve somebody at the altar who is 100% when they're at the altar, who is 100% at the altar, which made me think, okay, well, maybe she's 80%, but she wants to keep dating him so that she's 100% when she's at the altar, so that she's that person. But then she said it's not about the timing.
Yeah, she said something. Basically, I interpreted it as we've had enough time for me to figure this out.
Yes. She said she made her decision, and it wasn't really until she was in that moment that she knew, which also makes me question, is it about the timing? But she said it's not. It's very confusing because not knowing until you're right there, she goes, when I knew I wasn't 100% in, that's how I knew.
I guess
that could still be interpreted as she could get there because it's only been a month.
Yeah.
These people hadn't been dating that long.
I guess she just had an epiphany in that moment.
It's a weird time to have an epiphany.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't make an important decision in that moment. Oh, well, okay, they're getting married.
Okay.
Yes or no, I would make that, but I wouldn't make the decision to write him off because you're not 100% after a month or 2 months.
Right. I just was not expecting it. I know, right? Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here, Lauren. I was just surprised because after the things that they both said to each other, I was not expecting either one of them to say no based on that. Allie, when she
you and baby, her mom going in there,
right? So
fluffing him up,
right? But with Allie, as I was listening to her, I was like, she's not going to. Right. But I did not feel that with KB at all.
No. She was like, my mama loved the shit out of him. I wonder if at their reunion, I bet if they're, I don't know that they're together, but I bet they reconnected and tried to date after this. I don't know that they're still together.
I can't wait for the reunion. Like, I'm done over the weddings. Let's get to the reunion.
Let's get to Jordan.
I know. Damn.
Anything else to add?
No, the only thing I was going to say is, those two, it was both guys said yes and both brides said no.
Said no so far.
And I was thinking, it's the damn socks. Like, they had them funky, fucked up socks, and neither one of their brides married them. Don't wear those socks anymore, guys. Just throw them away right now.
Well, at least they're mixed matched, and you're not just like, they smell really bad.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of struck me is how alone Edmund seemed. His mom's not there.
His dad was.
Tries to be there, but I don't feel like they had a real deep connection over it.
Right.
It's not like he did with his mom.
Right. And that made me think of something else too, back with Anton and Allie's wedding.
Allie.
When she said no, he actually had friends in the audience that were like,
Right.
what a bitch.
They did say that.
And I was like, whoa.
And her family said, "You're the most beautiful runaway bride," which is kind of where I was thinking in that moment she might need to hear something besides "I'm pretty."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't think she's a bitch.
Don't either.
I think it would be extremely hard for anybody to make this decision that quickly.
I agree, but I also think it's the drinking. I really do. I think that she, we started seeing the cracks when she realized how much he was drinking every day, drinking in the mornings, which I kind of let
Correct.
that one slide because of his shifts. But that's a huge difference with people. If you have one that drinks all the time, every day, and one that's more casual at drinking,
It goes through 24 beers and at least half a handle of tequila.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it was just a bit much for her, and I don't think it was something that she wanted to risk. And she kind of said, the person she fell out in love with in the pods was not the person that she had gotten to know the last few weeks.
And that's the thing. How well do you really know someone in the pods? How would she have known how often he drinks unless she just asked?
Right.
And maybe she's never been in a situation before where she would think to ask that, where she would realize just how different that can be between people.
Right. That is. It's a huge thing. And I mean, now someone who it would be an issue with would maybe ask, like, do you drink?
Right.
How often do you drink?
Somebody
but
who's
if
seen it before.
Yeah, if it's not something that she would think would be an issue until she actually seen it, I can see why she wouldn't ask. And probably most people wouldn't volunteer, oh, I drink every day or something like that.
I was also listening to a podcast called Psychology in Seattle, and he was speculating that maybe she did know somebody who drank, and that's why it was a sensitive issue to her.
It's a good possibility, especially with what her mom said.
So who knows? It could be a lot of ways. All right, so let's move on to Megan and Jordan. So I watched this first, and Dee was texting me as she was finishing it, because I told her I was up at 2:50, and I said, I'm just going to stay up till 3 and watch this. Okay, it might have been earlier. It might have been like 2:10. I might have stayed up for a good hour, but I wanted to watch it, and I watched it, and we get to this part, and Dee says, no, not Megan and Jordan. And at that point, I'm like, she just saw Jordan walk in, and they're sitting on the couch in their cozy clothes. But then I was like, or did she see what happens? Like, should I text her now about it? So I didn't respond, because I thought you probably gave me your first reaction, and I didn't want to ruin
That's
the
true.
whole conversation.
That's what
it
I
could
did.
have gone so many ways, and it did not go how I expected it to go.
It did not go how I expected either. And I
No.
was pissed.
For me, it's not because of the no. Is that why it didn't go how you expected?
Yeah. For me, it was, I can't believe that what she is stating as the reason
Yeah.
was not evident to her sooner.
Are you talking about the fact that he eats the same bland stuff?
Well, I mean, yeah.
The man did put a chicken with Crystal Light in, and that was probably like 2 weeks before the wedding.
And we thought that might be a joke until his dad was talking about it and was like, "Oh, you mean the chicken in the blender?"
So is that what you're talking about? I don't
Well,
know
I
if
mean,
she
that
was
was
in
like
earlier.
one of the things. I mean, but she pretty much landed on the lifestyle differences, and I was just like, you should have known this from the get go. He has, talked about this since the pods.
And you and I had a different view on that, a different experience with that. I didn't think there's really any way to know what it's like to live with someone else's kid or to have your own kid until you actually have.
Right.
So
But
I didn't think she would really, it doesn't matter how much Jordan tells Megan, it's going to be difficult. You don't know what it requires until you're the one there.
Yeah, but it wasn't just the fact that, there was a kid. There was also, you know, the fact that she likes to travel and do a lot of different things, activities and stuff like that he's not going to be able to do because he's got a 9 to 5.
But you had a different perspective than I did. You said that maybe she would understand what it was like because she has friends. Possibly that have children.
Yeah, I thought that by the age that she is, that she should have friends to know how different their life has changed since they've had children. You know, even if those parents aren't saying how much their life changes, you recognize it when you call them up and say, hey, let's go to dinner or let's go to a movie. And they're like, well, I can't tonight. I can't find a sitter or, you know, something like that. You know, it's not like she's 20.
And I thought this was very interesting, that point. And I told you this. For me, back in my 20s, my friends would say that. When we were in our 20s and my friends that were having kids then, I would hear them say, oh, it's going to be so different. Like, they were like, basically, you got it made. You don't have kids. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there building my law practice. I'm at the office, like, most hours of the day. It was a lot of work getting my practice off the ground. It's a lot of work to build a business. But they were like, you just don't know how different it would be. Versus now in my 30s, you don't hear that. And I had my son at 37. Honestly, I think about my kids that had their children in their 20s. And yeah, what I was doing in my 20s and then having a kid, that's a huge change. Like, you're going out, you're more active. There's lots of events.
Right.
I was in like a hiking club, on a kickball team. In my 30s, I started to settle down. It was me and Rob just kind of sitting around the house with our puppies who were our kids. And then our friends would go out every once in a while. But even though I didn't expect it to be a big change, the biggest change for me was just those daily things, making sure somebody has food, clothing, medical care, making sure that, you know, you're snuggling them when they go to bed because you're their safety zone, that you're, you know, reading to them, that you're helping them with workbooks, that you're playing with them, that you're taking them to the park, that you're taking them to birthday parties, that you're taking them out with their friends. So like, you have your friends, but then they have their friends, that you're, I mean, all of it, there's just the ins and outs of every day and how much a child relies on you. It's not something you really know until you've experienced it. And also, so yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking. I don't know that she's 33. So it does seem like with her friends that are out traveling, it would be a huge change, but there are people that travel. I mean,
with their kids. Yeah.
Or even without.
Yeah. Both. I mean,
my neighbors and I, the 3 couples, we all went to Antigua a few years ago.
Right.
So, and Jordan is still in his 20s. He's 29. He said that. He's like, if I had 5 more years, I might be somewhere different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I just thought that's something I think about. I'm like, wow, what my friends did to change their lives when we were 20 to have a kid.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
I had 2 by 25. So,
but see, now, I don't know. My friend, we all still get together and stuff with our kids, which is actually the best time because they can go yell and scream at each other and we can hang out.
Yeah, I'm just kind of doing everything in reverse. So I'm doing all this stuff.
It's just, I think that I'm doing it in reverse because I had kids silly. But anyway.
Well, no, I meant my lifestyle. Like, I'm doing the things I should have done in my 20s now that I'm in my 50s. So
right.
It's
but
perfectly fine.
There's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people that do that. So Megan just says, I didn't want to go to the altar and tell you you're not my person.
No, you're not my partner. That's what she said. Yeah.
And she still loves him. She actually says to the camera later, she'll always love him. And she's so thankful for meeting Luca, but she didn't realize what a big change this was. She has been traveling and doing all these things by herself, and now she wants to share that with a partner.
And he can't do that.
Which he takes to mean, if I had money, this would work out. So he sees the reason it failing not being because of the child and the day in and day out task. And to be fair, she is saying that it's based on him eating chicken and him not being able to travel. But realistically, if she has the wealth that it seems she may have, Jordan says she never has to work, she could pay for him to go play. It wouldn't even be a second thought. if that's really what she wanted. I wonder if this is more about just the child and how drastically it is, and she's using the food and things as reasons, because she can't sit there and say it's Luca, and it's not Luca, it's her, just jumping into motherhood. This isn't even like she's comfortable. She's been living with her spouse, she's been traveling with him, getting to know him, and then they become parents together. It's got to be extremely hard to become a step parent, especially for someone who's not a parent already. I say this as somebody that got engaged to a guy that had children. So and that didn't work out. And it wasn't because of the kids, although he did cheat on me with the kids' babysitters. I guess if there was no babysitter, it just would have been someone else.
It's always the nanny. Sorry.
I ran into her later and she's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, thank you for taking out the garbage.
Yeah.
Anything else with Jordan and Megan?
No, I mean, I just really loved that couple. So I was really, that one hit harder, I think, because I really expected them to be the ones that got married.
Crying.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, when they, do you have any regrets? And I was just like, oh my gosh, when he said, yeah, that I introduced her to my son. And I'm, because now there's two broken hearts.
I wonder how he introduced her, though.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that he's old enough to understand what was going on. So I'm sure it was, this is going to be.
He could have said girlfriend, but then if they got married, that would have been a lot
I don't know
to do.
Hopefully it wasn't, this is going to be your stepmom or your new, but I don't know.
True. So that's the episode. Now, some of the things that we have watched, or I've been kind of looking at interviews that the cast has been doing. There's one with Blake and Jordan, and it came out 2 weeks ago. And when I watched it, I was thinking, man, he seems pretty happy compared to the other people I've seen talking, and
no bitterness.
He's not saying anything
anything
bad. No, everything sounds very positive in his interview. So I thought that they would be together. Seeing that, and it's an interview with Blake and Jordan. Now he also seems to be in good spirits with Blake, because one of my thoughts is
Blake was her number one,
right,
in the pods, and he left.
Megan, is she gonna try for Mike or Blake? That's what, and maybe Blake, because she did seem to tell Mike no. It's because you aren't right for me.
I hope it's not Mike. I hope
we didn't see her meet Blake at the couples get together.
Was he there?
If he was, they didn't show him.
Yeah, I don't remember him being there. Because I thought he might be.
They didn't show him.
Yeah,
there.
I thought he might be because Annie was there, or Anna.
Well, they also didn't address
and Patrick
him at all there. They addressed the fact that Casey wasn't coming, but they did not say anything about Blake. So, like, maybe if she does go and start dating Blake, maybe they cut him out of the singles part, and they could drop some footage showing us what their connection looked like at the reunion.
Gotcha.
I don't know. That would be interesting. But he did seem to be getting along with Blake. So I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he might not be so friendly. But then again, Jordan, he doesn't seem to have bitterness.
No, he doesn't seem to have any animosity or anything.
Except for her calling him annoying.
Which he understood, because he said he is annoying. Sometimes.
And then Blake was just saying he left early because he couldn't see himself getting to the point of engagement, and they told him on the show, if you feel like you can't make it to the altar, let us know and we'll cut you. So that was that interview. And then there was an interview with Joe's girlfriend. So Joe has had a girlfriend for a year, and she's kind of friends with people in Denver. It seems like a small community. She's really good friends with Kate, so she knows Megan. But she's only met Megan a couple of times, and they're amicable. But she's been dating Joe for a year, and he apparently was going on a few dates just casually with Casey when she started dating Joe, the new girlfriend. So, and she did not have a good opinion of Casey. She says that a lot of people in the community don't.
Well, she didn't leave the show with me having a good opinion of her, so.
You never know with the edit.
I know, but I'm just
you
saying.
You also never know when it's one person who's dating her ex-fiance.
She was
or not ex-fiance, but
yeah.
Another guy.
She was just all over the place when she was on the show, which I think she was drinking wine when they did the worst ones.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Nick had a video a while ago just explaining that people have talked to him about his comments on homosexuality in pods, and he has taken those to heart, and he doesn't have any like disapproval of LGBTQ marriages and in relationships. Trying to think if there were any other interesting interviews that I saw. Just seems to trash Joe every time Madison seems to trash Joe every time I see a camera on her.
That doesn't surprise me.
And Joe, he said something. I saw it on like a minute TikTok, but it wasn't anything that good because I can't even remember what it was. It was a very short, and it was nothing memorable.
Yeah, I tried to avoid most of them that I would see on TikTok until I finished watching the show because I didn't want to get any kind of like hints or idea that something wasn't the way that I perceived it. So I would kind of like scroll through them. I really haven't seen any, yet today since I watched the final episode this morning.
Well, speaking of not liking to be spoiled, I wasn't going to watch the preview for the reunion. Hadn't watched the preview for the reunion. We didn't want to be spoiled for next week. But as I was re-listening to the episode, the preview came up before I was able to turn it off.
I know.
And it was a question and an answer. And I was so shocked at what I thought I heard. I was watching it on 1.5 speed. So I get onto the studio and I'm like, Dee, give me a second. I got to watch this. And she says, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to be spoiled. But then she sees my face as I watch it.
It's not just your face. You're sitting there going, oh. And I'm like, okay, I want to know now. What is it?
So we watched it together. So if you don't want to know about the reunion, skip ahead. Question and an answer. I'll be the host.
You're going to make me try to remember it because I need the trigger
you just
words.
Be Megan.
Okay.
So Megan, you were reconsidering whether or not you were ready to be a mother or wanted to be one when you left. Where are you with that now?
Well, there's been some major changes.
Something along those lines. I feel like the wording of this was very specific. So here's exactly what they said. Megan said that she wasn't sure she was cut out to be a mother. Megan, do you still feel like you're not cut out to be a mother? Today, I actually have a little bit of a surprise. All right, that was my best attempt at Vanessa, Nick, and Megan. That's what happened. What's the surprise?
Going with she's had a baby since the show ended. What do you think?
Well, any guesses on who it might be?
Well, I kind of speculated that maybe she got pregnant during the show with Jordan and that it is Jordan. And it's just going to be this big thing that they let us know at the reunion.
Well, it's been 2 years since they filmed. So there could be enough time for her to have met somebody and gotten pregnant.
But I'm still hoping.
Gotten back with Mike and gotten pregnant, or gotten with Blake and gotten pregnant.
I understand that. I'm just hoping it's Jordan.
I was just thinking of different options. So that was one of them. Another thing that we thought of was, what if she made a big decision and decided she doesn't want kids after this experience and ended up like getting a hysterectomy or getting her tubes tied, or maybe something happened where she can't. But she smiles when she says, I have a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
And it's while she's saying it. So it's not like they edited in.
Right. Well, and she could have adopted too. Like, if she was still single and hadn't met somebody, she could have adopted a baby too.
But that lifestyle of being a parent is what she was afraid to give up. At least that was her reason.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
See, I really thought if they had more time,
they would. Yeah.
I said that from the beginning. This is a big decision. She's got to
Especially-
get to know what this is like. She's only met his child once. So I kept thinking, okay, they're sitting there on the couch. They're going
Right.
to have a conversation and say, I need more time.
Yeah.
I just met Luca, but I feel like we need to grow together more before I make this decision.
I think that would be completely understandable since there was a son involved, that they needed more time and needed to operate more as a unit with, his son involved before they could say I do. So that would make complete sense.
But she said, you're not my partner. Well, what's the difference?
I don't know what the difference is, but she said you're not my partner because she wanted a partner to do all of the traveling and things that she's been doing alone for the last few years, that she wanted a partner for those things. Your person, to me, doesn't necessarily have to be your partner because, I have girlfriends that I consider my person, but I'm not married to them or partners with them. So maybe that's the difference. I don't know.
I really hope that, secretly, my hope is that they continue to date after the pods and she realized, I'm 33. Actually, this is what I want. Like now that I have gotten to know them more, we know how we fit in each other's lives because they really don't know. They haven't lived with having Luca part of the time. They've met him once, seeing what travel looks like. Him, maybe making an effort to go on a weekend trip with her when he doesn't have Luca for the weekend.
Yeah. That's my hope too.
I hope that's what happens.
Yeah,
and that
I hope so
they
too.
are together, and maybe she's not pregnant, but she's his stepmom. A bit of a surprise. Surprise, I think, implies something good. So that's what I hope, but you never know. And it's the only part of the preview.
Yeah.
3 sentences. Nobody else. Just that. So this could be a really boring reunion. If they had no other teasers for us, and maybe like the juiciest they could get is they're like, this will be enough of a teaser. And then she comes back and she's like, so I'm dating and thinking about having kids.
Well, I just thought, now that you mention it, I think if you go back into Netflix, there's actually a teaser 2. So there was 2 teasers.
Hold on, we gotta watch. All right, channel surfers, we couldn't find it. My screen looked different than when Dee gets on Netflix. Now, the way I found this reunion trailer at the end of episode 12, after the credits, there's the preview pops up, but I can't even figure out where to click it to get to it. So there might be, the only other one I had seen was Nick and Jessica's sitting there. Oh, shoot. Vanessa. Jessica Simpson. Oh my gosh.
Big faux pas.
Oops. Did I just time warp back to like the 90s, early 2000s? I'm so sorry, Vanessa.
To the chicken of the sea?
Whoa.
Why is it tuna? It's called chicken of the sea. I'm sorry. That's just, even to this day, it sticks out.
And then her sister and the Milli Vanilli lip syncing. Anyway, so that's where you find it. There was one where Vanessa is sitting there talking, and then Nick comes in to announce that they are going to see each other at the reunion. Anyway, if there's another one, let us know. Channel surfers, drop in the comments. What do you think's Megan's surprises? What kind of updates do you think we'll get from these couples? Let us know in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Dee is going to get some legal work done. I am going to jump on here in just a minute and record the perfect neighbor for the channel surfers. Hope you guys have a great afternoon. Love ya. Bye.
Let's ride.
Tune in, don't delay.